Welcome into the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick Legion Baseball. We have the Billings Scarlets in town to take on the Missoula Mavericks. I'm Chris Stratton here on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. We're going to go ahead and get into our starting lineups, starting with the Billings Scarlets. Number 1, Braden Hupert. He will play at center field. Number 11, Ben Tallman. He will stand on the mound at the pitching position. Batting third is number 3, Clay Siebel. He is at third base. Number 7, Dylan Johnson is behind the plate at the catcher position. Number 10, Cole Kramer. He is at first. Number 12, Cole DeVries is your left fielder. Number 4, Max Spicard is your second baseman. Number 2, Kendall Sinclair is your shortstop. And rounding it out, number 6, Peyton Stovall is the right fielder. For the Missoula Mavericks, getting the nod on the mound and leading off pitching is number 20, Nick Jovetic. Number 2, James Martin will be at second base. Number 7, Dane Frazier is at first. Batting fourth is number 16, Sam Busey at left field. Number 21, Spencer Schock is behind the plate. He is the wall. Number 18, Parker Stevens is your right fielder. 13, Trad Richardson is your third baseman. Number 6, Bo King is getting the nod in center field since Jovetic is on the mound, and number 24, Ryan McHugh, will round things out at shortstop. Now leading off is Braden Hupert, the center fielder for the Scarlets. So we're getting set to go. First pitch by Jovetic, slices the plate for strike one. Mavericks, they are coming off of a great tournament in Lewiston, Idaho this weekend. They took on the Lewis and Clark Twins in the championship game on Sunday night, and they would fall in that game, but they are set to go again. They've got a great tournament coming up this weekend. They'll host the annual Memorial Tournament. Second pitch by Jovetic, third pitch by Jovetic is a ball. Second pitch was fouled over, and it is a 1-2 count here to start things off for Hupert. Jovetic with the windup and the pitch on its way, swung on and missed, and he will strike out his first batter. Schock will throw it down the third base line, and they'll play catch with it. That'll bring up number 11, Ben Tallman, for the Billings Scarlets. They'll come out, stand in the batter's box. Scarlet's head coach is Adam Hoost. He is holding down that third base coaching position. Swing, and it is out. McHugh finds it, and that'll be out number 2. And that'll bring up Clay Siebel, the third baseman. Nice little breeze going here at Lindbergh Craig Field in Missoula. Beautiful day here in Missoula, Montana. Some clouds rolling across the sky here. It is warm. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. Swung on. That one's going to foul into the netting right in front of us, and he'll start out with a strike. Jovetic coming off of a great game in Lewiston. Here is the pitch by Jovetic. That one will bounce in front of the plate. Jovetic will try to track it down. Martin comes up, picks it up. Throw to first is there in time, and it'll be 1-2-3 for the Scarlets. We'll be back with the Mavericks portion of the inning right after this brief break. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Leading off the bottom of the first inning, it is Nick Jovetic. They were able to hold off the Scarlets in the first inning, going 1-2-3. Did the Scarlets. Jovetic will step into the batter's box and get ready to go. He is the man on the mound for the Mavericks. On the mound for the Scarlets, well, that would be number 11, Ben Tallman. First pitch to Jovetic is inside on the left-handed batter for ball one. Jovetic will swing on the second one. It'll bounce out to the second baseman. Throw to first is there, and that'll be out number one for the Mavericks. That'll bring up the second baseman, James Martin. Martin will step in, right-handed batter, and that will put Dane Frazier in the on deck. Door not wanting to stay. We've got a breeze going here, so it's playing havoc with it. We're just going to leave it. So Martin facing a 1-0 count here. Second baseman, right-handed batter is Barton. Here's the pitch. He'll let that one go by, and he'll have a 2-0 count here. Our officials today behind the plate is Ryan Larson in game one. Wayne Wade is in the field. We'll have a doubleheader here with the Scarlets. That pitch will be inside, and Martin will look at a 3-0 count now. Ben Tallman on the mound. You might recognize him from prep basketball and football. Here's the pitch, and they'll go ahead and walk Martin. That'll bring up number 7, the third baseman, Dane Frazier, and Sam Busey will go to the on deck. So the Mavericks get one on here off of the walk with one out, bottom of the first. Coach Hathaway, Brent Hathaway, is the manager for the Mavericks. He's also the third base coach. Signals the field. Martin steps away from first. Got a step lead. Tallman will check him, and now the pitch. That pitch will be inside on the right-handed batter of Frazier. Frazier looks down the third base line. Hathaway with another call. Hathaway takes these calls very seriously, as do all of the coaches down the third base line. But if you miss a call, half a call, just a portion of the call, well, here goes Martin to second. They're going to throw over there to second. The throw is there, down, and they're going to say safe at second for Martin. So nice job by James Martin to get the steal. Win, lose, or draw, though, back to the signals with Coach Hathaway. He's got the boys on the line running at the end of the game, and it's everybody running. And from my experience, if he catches you lagging, you run extra. Everybody's got to give 100%, even though it's the end of the game. Martin steps out, 2.5 inches out to a 3-step lead out there at second. Inside pitch, and we'll have a 2-1 count here for the first baseman. One out, bottom of the first. Scarlet's not able to get anything going. Nice right to left breeze coming for us here in Missoula. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. We'll have a 3-1 count here for Frazier. Martin hugging second. Gorgeous day here in Missoula. Check the runner at second. Martin steps out. Looks like he's going to go. They'll go ahead and they say strike. Frazier thought he was going to get the walk. He headed down the first base line, tossed the bat, and at the last second, Larson called strike. He'll come back with a full count at 3-2 with one out and one on. Martin at second. He steps away. 2.5 lead there at second for Martin. Tallman will check Martin. Checks him again, and now the pitch. Martin's going to go to third inside. They're going to throw down the third base line. Martin slides in. He's safe, and Frazier will get the walk. So Mavericks with a runner in scoring position here against the 2-time AA state champions, and that'll bring up number 16, Sam Busey, the left fielder, and Spencer Schock will go to the on-deck circle. So runners at first and third for the Mavericks. One out. Busey steps in. Tallman will check. Frazier at first. Now the pitch. That one will be swung on out into center fielder. Center fielder will pick it up, no problem. Here comes Martin home. The throw home is wide. Martin will swing around and cross the plate, and the Mavericks will have a 1-0 lead here. And a runner at first. 2 outs here at the bottom of the first. Number 21, Spencer Schock, the catcher, as I call him, the wall, does a great job keeping everything in front of him behind the plate. You know, pitchers are always the first line of defense. Catchers are the second line of defense in my book. Tallman will check. The runner at first. Swung on. Schock will foul that one up over our heads here, and he'll have an 0-1 count with 2 outs. Mavericks lead 1-0 on the scoreboard. Schock settles back in. Tallman settles. Now checks the runner at first and the pitch. The runner's going to go ahead and go. They're going to go ahead and throw it. Wide is the throw. It's going to go all the way out into center field, and Frazier will stay at second. So 2 outs here. Runner at second. Mavericks have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. We're scheduled for 7 here, folks. Doubleheader against the 2-time reigning state champion, Billings Scarlets. Here's the pitch. That one will skin the plate, and Schock will look at a 1-2 count here. Mavericks are wearing their white jerseys. Got the blue stripe down the pants and the navy blue name and number on the front and back. Here's the pitch by Tallman. That one will be swung on. High floater out to left field, and this one's going to be caught by the left fielder. No, he's going to drop it. Schock will get around. Here comes Frazier across, and Schock at second. Wow. The left fielder, Cole DeVries, had it in his glove, and it just did not get around the ball. That'll bring up number 18, Parker Stevens, the right fielder, and Trav Richardson will go to the on deck. Mavericks lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. That one will skin the plate for strike 1. 2 outs. And Schock at second. Schock steps away. Step and a half, 2-step lead out there. He'll slide out. This one's going to be hit right out into center field. And once again, Hupert will get it. So the Mavericks will get 2. They'll lead 1 on, and they'll lead 2-0. We'll be back after this brief break with the top of the second. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Billings Scarlet's in town for a doubleheader tonight before they get ready for the Memorial Tournament coming up. Mavericks lead 2-0 here at the top of the second inning. And leading off for the Scarlets would be the catcher, number 7, Dylan Johnson. First pitch from Jovetic to Johnson is inside and low for ball 1. Mavericks will have their Memorial Tournament here this weekend. We'll have coverage of 3 of the 4 games. This one will be bounced over Jovicic's head, rolls out to center field. King will get it on the roll, and the Scarlets will have their first runner on of the game. That brings up number 10, Cole Kramer, first baseman for the Scarlets. So with 1 on, no outs, Kramer looks down the third base line to coach Hoost to get the signal. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. That one will skin the plate. Strike 1. Jovetic started the game out with a strike, coming off of a perfect game at the Lewiston tournament. They're going to throw to first, and diving back in is Johnson. The Scarlets, they're wearing white. They're wearing their red, black, and white camo tops. They've got white pants with a black stripe down the side. This one's going to be hit foul down the first base line. Frazier's trying to get there. He will not. It'll bounce right in front of him, and it'll be strike two. They've got the knee-high socks, the Scarlets do. Black knee-high socks with the red and white stripes. Everybody will settle back in with an 0-2 count here. One on and no outs. Top of the second. Kramer settles in. Jovetic checks the runner at first, and now the pitch. It will slice the plate, and he'll have his second K of the game. That'll bring up the left fielder, number 12, Cole DeVries, and Max Spicard will go into the on deck. DeVries settles in. Jovetic will look at the runner at first, and now the pitch. That one will be inside for ball one. Jovetic, a left-handed pitcher. Right-handed batter in DeVries. Runner at first will step away. This one will be hit foul, and we'll have strike two. DeVries settles in. Only had 3 at-bats this year. It's showing on our stats. And that pitch is inside, and Jovetic will have a 2-1 count here for the left fielder. Runner at first in Johnson. He'll step away. He's got a step lead. Jovetic will watch him. Now they'll throw to first. He dives back in and gets back safely. 2-1 count here with 1 out. Runner at first for the Scarlets. DeVries in the box. Jovetic looks at the runner at first. Now the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to be fouled up. That one looks like it might be fair. And it's going to be caught easily by Parker Stevens for out number 1. Johnson will hold it first. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 4, Mac Spicard. He'll readjust his shoes, rub some dirt on his hands, and step into the box. Looks down the line to see if Hoost has a call. He does not. So they settle. They'll throw to first. Johnson will dive back in, getting those nice white pants marked up with pride stripes. Schock looks towards the dugout, gets the call, settles in. Jovetic checks the runner at first, and now the pitch. That one will catch the inside of the plate on the right-handed batter. Makes it an 0-1 count. Jovetic nods at the pitch, checks the runner at first. Johnson with a 1-step lead. This one's going to be hit down the third base line. They say foul. And it'll be strike two. 0-2 count with 2 outs. Runner on for the Scarlets. Mavericks will have their Memorial Tournament this weekend, as I mentioned earlier. We'll have teams in from LeGrand, Oregon. The Lewis and Clark Twins will be here, who the Mavericks went 1-1 against over the weekend. And that one's going to be outside on the right-handed batter, makes it a 1-2 count. Gonzaga Prep will be here. Bellevue Honda, Central Washington Spuds. Those will all be right here at Lindbergh Craig Field for the tournament. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and Jovetic will finish the inning with a K. They'll leave a runner on, no runs, and it's 2-0. We'll be back after this brief timeout. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Doubleheader with the Billings Scarlets. Mavericks lead 2-0 bottom of the second inning, and leading off for the Mavericks is their 7-8-9 batters. Number 13, Trad Richardson, the third baseman, will start things off. Ben Tallman on the mound. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be high. Ball one. Mavericks picked up 2 runs early in the first inning. Bo King is in the on deck. Here's the pitch. That one's outside, but catches the plate and will even the count out at 1. Tallman gets the signal, winds up, and the pitch is on his way. That one's going to be hit straight up into the air down the first base line, and that one's going to go foul. He'll stay alive with a 1-2 count. Richardson, playing over at third, has been doing a good job over there. Guys are falling into place here. Had to replace some key positions, and guys are just falling right where they need to be. That pitch will make it an even count at 2 for Richardson. Richardson will be a junior in Frenchtown this year. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to float up over the top of us. He'll stay alive with a even count at 2. Plays basketball and soccer as well. You have to see him on the basketball court this year as he went up against that epic Hellgate Knights team here. That one will bounce in front of the plate. Ball, and it'll be 3-2. Coach Hayes over there at Hellgate always just somehow takes what talent he has and he can turn him into the Western Conference AA powerhouse. Glacier Wolfpack gave him a run this year. Sentinel did too. That one's going to be fouled off into the Maverick dugout, and we'll have a full count at 3-2 here for Richardson. Frenchtown, though, they do very well out there for their basketball program at the A level. Here's the pitch by Tallman. That one's going to be high, and they'll go ahead and walk the third baseman. Number 6, Bo King, the center fielder, will come to the plate now, and that will put Ryan McHugh in the on deck. King looks down the third base line. Coach Hathaway with the signal. No outs. Runner at first off the walk. Tallman gets the pitch from Johnson. They'll throw to first, and Richardson will get dirt on that nice white jersey. King steps in, waits for his first pitch. Wind's coming pretty good here at Lindbergh Craig. Cooling things off. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be bunted up. Foul. Laid out. Johnson not able to get it. Nice job by Johnson, though, to lay out for that one. And King will have an 0-1 count here. King looks down the third base line. He is a second-generation Maverick. His older brother was a Maverick just a few years ago. Went off and is in college now. Showing bunt again. Bunts that one down right in front of the plate. Great bunt. Tallman picks it up. The throw to first is there, but Richardson gets there, and the damage is done with the sacrifice bunt. That'll bring us up to the shortstop, number 24, Ryan McHugh, the laser as I like to call him. He's playing over there at shortstop. He's fell in there and done a great job over there at shortstop. Richardson steps away from second with a 2-step lead. Waiting for his first pitch, and it's on its way. He'll swing on that one. Foul down the third base line. It'll be an 0-1 count here with 1 out. Richardson at second. McHugh settles in, the right-handed batter. Tallman will check Richardson at second. Richardson steps out to a 2.5, and Tallman will step off the mound to force Richardson back. Tallman will settle back in. Larson steps away, 2-step lead. Here's the pitch, swung on. That one's going to flow high down the third base line. DeVries is there, and that will be out number 2. That'll swing us to the top of the batting order for the Mavericks. And Nick Jovetic and James Martin will go to the on deck. So 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Mavericks lead 2-0. Jovetic getting the call on the mound for the Mavericks. Coming off of a perfect game. Richardson steps away from second, 2-step lead. Tallman will look at him, swings back again, pitches on its way, slices the plate in half for strike 1. Jovetic, his first opportunity at bat, had a ground out. Tallman will check the runner at second, and now the pitch. That one will be swung on and missed for strike 2. Jovetic was looking deep for that one. Graduate of Big Sky High School this spring. He'll be leaving us here in Missoula this fall when his Maverick season is over. That pitch will be high and we'll make it a 1-2 count for Jovetic. He's going to be going to California this fall. He's going to go to the University of San Francisco and play some baseball and maybe learn a thing or two while he's down there. Very good student. Here's a pitch outside, and we'll have an even count at 2. Richardson trots back to second. Jovetic settles. Tallman waiting for the pitch. Now he nods, checks Richardson at second. 2-2 count. He'll swing on that one, does Jovetic. It'll bounce out to the second baseman once again, tossed to the first baseman, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks won't get anything. They'll leave one on, and that'll make it 2-0 on the scoreboard. We'll be back after this brief timeout on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Top of the third inning, Mavericks lead 2-0. Doubleheader with the Billings Scarlets, game 1. And we are at our 8-9 batters for the Scarlets. Leading off, number 2, Kendall Sinclair. First pitch to Sinclair by Jovetic is a strike. Sinclair, a right-handed batter, settles in. He's playing at shortstop. Here's the pitch, and that one will strike the batter, and he'll get his base. Wow. Umpire will come out and hand the ball directly to Jovetic. Ryan Larson is our umpire. And that'll bring up number 6, Peyton Stovall, the right fielder for the Scarlets. So a runner on, and Spencer Schock will step in front of the plate, signal the field on where the out is coming from. Wind picks up here at Lindbergh Craig Field as the door swings open. Trees leaning out there. This is going to be bunted down the first base line. Jovetic will pick it up. The throw to first is there. Damage is done, though. The runner made it to second. And we'll swing to the top of the batting order for the Scarlets with number 1, Braden Huppert, coming to the plate. And folks, these sack bunts, they treat those just like a home run. Everybody comes out of the dugout and congratulates the player. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be fouled over the Maverick dugout. 1 out here, 1 on, 0-1 count for the center fielder in Hubbard. Jovetic looks at the runner at second. Now the pitch. That one's going to be a floater. He'll let it go by, and we'll even the count out at 1. Jovetic gets the pitch from Schock, winds up, and it's on its way. That one will be swung on and missed. It makes a 1-2 count here with 1 out. Scarlets have Sinclair at second. You can follow along with the game, folks, with the stats. There's the pitch by Jovetic. That one will be low. We'll even the count out at 2. But you can follow along with the pitch by pitch as you can join the iScore. Just go to the MissoulaMavericks.net website. Scroll down a little bit on the right-hand side. There's a link to iScore. This one's going to be fouled right back at us. It's going to land on the roof, and it will keep them alive at an even count at 2. Then if you go to the Missoula Mavericks Legion Baseball Facebook page, they've got the code on there, and then you can follow along on iScore. It's great. It shows you pitch-by-pitch stats. It shows you game stats. It does have the Mavericks career stats. That one's going to be hit down the third baseline. Richardson will pick it up. The throw to first is there, and that will be out number 2. The runner will advance to third, and they will say he is safe there with 2 outs here. Wind picking up considerably now, and the pitcher, Ben Tallman, will come to the plate. Got a good breeze going here as the Legion, Montana, and American flags are standing at attention in center field. Jovetic waits for the batter to settle into the box. Right-handed batter in Tallman. 0 for 1. He'll foul that one back over our heads here for strike 1. Be interested to take a look at Jovetic's stats when it comes to getting the batter to swing on the first pitch. That one's going to be picked up out of the ground over McHugh's head, out into left field, and the Scarlets will have a runner come home, and the Mavericks will have a 2-1 lead now over the Scarlets.
Number 3.
That was a golf swing of a hit, but it doesn't matter because it got the runner home and the runner on. And that'll bring up the third baseman, number 3, Clay Siebel. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to bounce out. Picked up by Martin at second. The throw is there.
For Billings, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base.
And that will be the end of it. Mavericks lead 2-1. We'll be back in the bottom of the third in just a moment. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Bottom of the third inning, Mavericks lead 2-1. Scarlets get 1 back in the last inning, in the last half inning, I should say. And leading things off on the inning is number 2, James Martin, with Dane Frazier in the on deck. Ben Tallman on the mound. Here's the pitch. That one will be outside for ball 1. Coming into the inning, Tallman, 36 pitches in, 20 of those would be strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Martin, and leaving the count out at 1. Martin, a graduate this year from Sentinel High School. Right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. That one will be hit out off the end of the bat, picked up by the second baseman. Throw to first is there, and that will be out number 1. That'll bring up number 13, number 7, Dane Frazier, and number 6, Sam Busey, will come into the on deck. So Frazier settles in. Here's the pitch. First one will be a strike to the first baseman. Frazier walked his first opportunity at bat. He'll settle in, 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one will catch the outside of the plate, and he'll have an 0-2 count now. So Tallman finding his groove here. Gave up a couple early in the first inning, but he has stood tall on the mound since then. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one will be a little high, and we'll have a 1-2 count here for the first baseman. Frazier going into his sophomore year at Big Sky. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and Tallman will have a K. That'll bring up number 16, Sam Busey, and Spencer Schock will go into the on deck. So Busey settles in. Sac fly on his last opportunity at bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to foul right up over our heads for strike 1. Got to keep your eyes on the game here at Lindbergh Craig Field, as with all sports. Them balls hop right over the net, and they've been known to come right into the crowd here. I've got a hole behind my head. That one's going to be fouled just about the same path. It'll be an 0-2 count. I said behind my head, not in my head, but there's a hole behind my head from where a ball came in last year and came in the booth and stuck in the wall. We had Helena, the Senators here, and Jay Scott, their play-by-play guy, had his. That strike will end the inning. So 1, 2, 3 for the Mavericks, and it stays 2-1. We'll be back in just a moment with the top of the 4th. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Lindbergh Craig Field doubleheader with the Billings Scarlets and the Missoula Mavericks. Chris Stratton here calling the game. Mavericks lead 2-1 at the top of the 4th. We're scheduled for 7 since we do have a doubleheader. Jovetic on the mound. First one will be hit out into center field. Bo King will let it hop in front of him. The wind got that one, and they'll have one on here. Dylan Johnson, the batter. Now coming to the plate is number 10, Cole Kramer.
Number 10, Cole Kramer.
Kramer looks down the third baseline to Coach Hoost for the call. Kramer struck out his first opportunity at bat. They'll throw to first. The runner will dive in. Jovetic settles on the mound. Runner steps away from first. Pitch, bunt up in the air, and Jovetic will catch it for out number 1.
Number 12, Cole DeVries.
That'll bring up number 12, Cole DeVries for the Scarlets, with 1 out here and a runner at first. DeVries looks down the third base line. No call from Hoos, so he steps in. Jovetic will look at the runner at first, who's got a step lead. Swung on and missed for strike 1 on the batter. 0-1 count, 1 out. Mavericks lead 2-1, top of 4. Mavericks will have their Memorial Tournament, as I mentioned earlier. That one's going to be hit foul, and will stay alive with an 0-2 count. The Scarlets themselves will be hosting a tournament this weekend. They will have the Goldsmith Tournament. Swung on and missed for another K for Jovetic. 2 outs now, runner at first, holding down. Number 4, Max Spicard will come to the plate now. Spicard settles in. First pitch by Jovetic, swung on, foul, down the first base line and into the batting cages down the line there. Spicard struck out his first opportunity at bat against Jovetic. In the on deck is Kendall Sinclair. Johnson steps away from first, swung on, foul ball. We'll have an 0-2 count for the second baseman. Jovetic settles. Here's the pitch. That one will be outside, and we'll have a 1-2 count now for the second baseman, Spicard. Johnson steps away from first. 1-step lead. Jovetic will look at him, and then the pitch. That one's going to be hit foul. Hoost will step out of the way down the third base line. It'll roll deep into the bullpen for the Scarlets, and he'll stay alive with a 1-2 count. Nice crowd here on a Tuesday night. Gorgeous night here at Lindbergh Craig Field. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled in the netting, right above the parent's head on the first base line. Staying alive. Battling here is Spicard. Spicard settles, and now Jovetic with the pitch. That one's going to be hit out into left field. Ducey is there, and that will finish the inning. So they'll leave one hanging, and no runs, and it will stay 2-1. We'll be back in just a moment with the Mavericks portion of the 4th. Welcome back to Lindbergh Craig Field. Chris Stratton here. Coverage, Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of the Missoula
Number
Mavericks
21,
baseball.
Spencer Schock.
Billings Scarlet's in town for a doubleheader. Bottom of the fourth, Mavericks lead 2-1. Leading the inning off is Spencer Schock. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back into the netting behind for strike one. Schock 0 for 1 on the day. He did reach off of an error, though. Nice little double. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be high and behind Schock. Evens the count out at 1. Schock is going to be going on and playing sports at the next level this fall. He's going to go to Butte and play football for Montana Tech. He'll be a digger. Pitch inside. Makes it a 2-1 count. Schock was kind of on the fence before the season started about whether he was going to play or not because of the commitment to play at Tech. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled off, and it'll be an even count at 2. Their first week of camp is the same, or first week of camp for football is the same week as the regional tournament. And Schock wanted to be honest with Coach Hathaway and tell him, this is what's going on. That one's going to be fouled off. First baseman's trying to get there, but that's going to land inside the light well down the first base line on the outside of the Maverick dugout. Even count at 2 for Schock. He had a talk with the coach from the Diggers and talked to Coach Hathaway, and between the three of them, they figured out a plan, and I guess the first week they're just getting guys checked in, and freshmen are just checking out the playbook. That one's going to be high, and we'll make it a full count at 3-2. Interesting twist in the whole story, though, is Schock, as a freshman, could have an opportunity to start his first year snapping the ball, long snapper. So they'll go ahead and walk Schock, and that'll bring up Parker Stevens with Trad Richardson in the on deck.
Number 18, Parker Stevens.
Schock did a long snap for the Sentinel Spartan football program since he's been there. So with Schock at first, no outs, Stevens steps in, showing bunt. Here's the pitch. Going to be bunted out, and getting it easily is the third baseman. Nice job by the third baseman, Clay Siebel, to get up there and dive for the ball down the third base line. That'll bring up Trad Richardson, and Bo King will go to the on deck. 1 out, Spencer Schock at first. Mavericks lead 2-1. Bottom of 4. Scheduled for 7 here. Have a short break, and then we'll get into the second game. Here's the pitch. Catches the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter of Richardson. Richardson will settle in. 0-1 count with 1 out. Schock steps away. Step and a half lead. Heavy step lead, I should say. That one will be swung on, and that one will head to the parking lot down the third base line. 0-2 count here for the third baseman. He's done a nice job over there at third base, as I said before. And every year, key players move on due to age eligibility, and Coach Hathaway does a great job of putting guys in. The farm league, as I like to call it, swung on and missed, and that'll be a strikeout for Richardson. That'll bring up Bo King.
Number 6.
2 outs now, Schock at first. And this young man, King, he might have an opportunity to step up and fill some pretty big shoes here with the Mavericks. He's got to just get a little deeper into his batting, but he could, outside of the pitching role, step in for Jovetic. He's in the box now with a 1-0 count with 2 outs. Schock at first. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be hit down the first baseline, foul, and we'll have an even count at 1 now for the center fielder. As I mentioned before, King is a second-gen Maverick player. Going to be a junior over at Sentinel. The farm league, as I like to call it, well, that would be the B and the A squads for the Mavericks. They've got a good group. And that one's going to be a strike. We'll have a 1-2 count. Showed bunt at first, backed off, but that one slid across the plate. Spencer Schock at first, steps away. He's got a one-step lead. King had a sack bunt his last opportunity at bat. Tallman will settle on the mound. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's going to float out to center field. It's going to, drop right in the glove of the center fielder. So the Mavericks, they'll leave one on. They won't get anything. And it's 2-1 Mavericks on the scoreboard. We'll have the top of the fifth in just a moment on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Welcome back to Lindbergh Craig Field. Chris Stratton here for the Missoula Prep Sports Networks, covering the Mavericks, hosting the Billings Scarlets for a doubleheader on a gorgeous Tuesday night here in Missoula, Montana. Mavericks lead 2-1 at the top of the fifth over the Scarlets, and leading off the 8-9 batters for the Scarlets. Jovetic on the mound. First pitch to the leadoff batter, number 2, Kendall Sinclair, is a strike. Scheduled for 7 here. We'll take a brief break, get this field back into order, and then we will play another 7-inning game. 0-2 count now for Sinclair. He was hit by a pitch the first opportunity at bat. That one's going to be swung on into right field. Nice curve off of it because of the wind, but the glove of Stevens is there for out number 1. That'll take us to Peyton Stovall. Stovall, sack bunt, his first opportunity at bat. Stovall will settle in. First pitch by Jovetic is a strike. 0-1 count. Let's take a look at Jovetic's stats. 46 pitches in, 37 of those are strikes. That one's going to be hit center field. Martin will pick it up, though, on the fringe, and that'll be out number 2. So Jovetic, he's pitched 4 1/3 innings. Actually 2/3 now. 1 run off of 3 hits, an error, and has struck out 4 batters. 162 is his ERA. Coming off of a shutout game. First pitch to the top of the batting order, Braden Hupert, is a strike. 2 outs, 0-1 count. Here's pitch number 2. Swung on and missed for strike 2. In the on deck, Ben Tallman, the pitcher. No action from either bullpen. They're going to put their pitchers on the mound and have them stand tall there, and both of them have done a good job. Here's the pitch. That one will be fouled, bounces up in front. Jovetic will turn, throws it down the first base line, and get the out. So the Scarlets go 1-2-3 at the top of the fifth, and it holds at 2-1 on the scoreboard. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Missoula Prep Sports Network's coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Doubleheader with the Billings Scarlets. Game 1 underway. We are at the bottom of the 5th. Mavericks lead 2-1. And leading off the inning is the laser, Ryan McHugh. Scarlets, they've been able to get their 1 run off of 3 hits. They've committed 1 error. The Mavericks, they have their 2 runs off of no hits and no errors. Ben Tallman on the mound. Here is the first pitch. McHugh will hit that one down the third base line. The throw to first is there, and that will be out number 1. We'll swing to the top of the batting order for the Mavericks with Nick Jovetic.
Number 20, Nick Jovetic.
And James Martin will go to the on deck. So Jovetic settles in. Tallman ready for the pitch. It's on its way. And that one will be in the dirt low. Jovetic 0 for 2, ground out on his first 2 opportunities at bat. He's got a heavy bat. He'll be heading to San Francisco this fall. Graduated from Big Sky this year. Has been a stout force on the basketball court for the Eagles. Now it'll be fouled off and leaving the count out at 1. But Jovetic played very well for the Big Sky Eagles basketball programs the last couple of years. Phenomenal baseball player. He'll hit that one. It's going to float down the third base line. Third baseman thinks he's got it, and it won't stay in the glove, and it'll be a 1-2 count. He had his hand on it, but that one landed right on the inside of the glove, right where the glove can't get around it. Real tight. So Jovetic with a 1-2 count here. 5th year with the Mavericks organization is Jovetic, born in Mesa, Arizona. It's where both of my children were born, Mesa. Here's the pitch. It'll be outside. Evens the count out at 2. He's a Phillies fan, folks. We won't hold him against him. He likes to spend his time fishing, going to the lake. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be across the knees, and it will be a full count at 3-2. 1 out here, nobody on for the Mavericks. They lead 2-1. Ben Tallman on the mound. No movement in either bullpen. James Martin in the on deck. Here's the pitch. And he'll strike Jovetic out. Jovetic thought he had the walk, but Tallman gets the K. That'll take us to the second baseman, James Martin, with Dane Frazier in the on deck. So 2 outs, nobody on. Mavericks lead 2-1. Ben Tallman with the pitch. That one's going to be high for a 1-0 count for James Martin. 0 for 1 on the day is Martin. He did walk his first opportunity at bat. He's got a run under his belt off that walk. Here's the pitch, and that one high as well. Makes it 2-0 on the count. We'll have a 7-inning game here, depending on how the score goes. And then, pitch swung on, fouled off. We'll have a 2-1 count now for the second baseman. We'll take a brief break between games, and then we will have the second one of the doubleheader. These two teams are a force against each other in American Legion. This one's going to be fouled up, and we'll even the count out at 2. This is going to go right up over the top of our heads. So an even count at 2 for Martin. Tallman climbing his way back into the count here. Dane Frazier in the on deck. Here's the pitch. That one's across the elbow of Martin, and we've got a full count now. 342 is his career batting average. Martin's, I should say. Here's the pitch. That one strikes the plate, and Tallman will finish the inning with a K. The Mavericks will go 1-2-3. We'll have the top of the 6th in just a moment. Welcome back to
11,
Missoula
Dan
Prep
Coleman.
Sports Network. Coverage of Missoula Maverick baseball doubleheader with the Billings Scarlets. Game 1. We are 5 going into 6 innings on it. We've got 7 scheduled. Depending on how the score goes, Mavericks lead 2-1. Hi everyone, Chris Stratton here from Lindbergh Craig Field. And now we've got movement in the Scarlet bullpen as they're going to warm up a pitcher down the line there. This one's going to be hit out into left field, and it's going to be caught very easily. And out number 1 will be Ben Tallman for the Scarlets. That'll bring up number 3, Clay Siebel. So Mavericks warming up. Not quite sure if they're warming up a pitcher, or if they're just warming up somebody to come in and they're going to have somebody else slide in. Jovetic with the windup and the pitch. Be strike 1. 0-1 count here. 1 out. Heavy wind right to left on your dial. That one's going to bounce in the dirt, evens the count at 1. Wind's dampening down what the warm weather was going to bring us. Making it nice here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Gorgeous view. Can't beat it. You've got, here's the pitch, and it'll be a 2-1 count now for Siebel. Great place to watch Maverick baseball, or baseball game in general. You've got the equestrian park behind us. That one's going to be bounced out. It's going to roll out to center field. King will pick it up, and the Scarlets will have the tying run on at first.
Number 7, Dylan.
That'll bring up number 7, Dylan Johnson. Blue Mountain in the background, Lolo Peak with a little bit of snow left on it. I mean, it's just gorgeous here at Lindbergh Craig Field. A little biased probably, but it's a great place to watch Legion baseball. Johnson 2 for 2, singled both opportunities. This one's going to be hit high, straight up in the air. King will get it in center field, and that'll be out number 2. That'll take us to the first baseman, number 10, Cole Kramer. Still got action warming up, and it looks like, is he going to climb up on the mound there, or are they just playing catch? Looks like, I think they're just playing catch. Here's the pitch by Jovetic, swung on. Kramer will bounce out towards the shortstop. McHugh with it, throw to first is there, and that will be the out. So they'll leave one hanging, but it'll stay 2-1. We'll have the bottom of the 6th in just a moment. Welcome back to Missoula Prep Sports Network. Chris Stratton here at Lindbergh Craig Field. Missoula Mavericks and the Billings Scarlets. Mavericks hosting the Scarlets for a doubleheader. Conference schedule game. Mavericks trying to improve on their conference schedule. And leading the inning off is Dane Frazier. Here's the pitch. That one will be outside. Strike 1 on Frazier. Frazier walked his first opportunity at bat, struck out his last opportunity at bat. Here is the pitch. That one's going to be hit off the end of his bat, foul, and we'll have an 0-2 count. In the on deck is Sam Busey. Mavericks lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to increase their lead to give some pad, as the Scarlets, they are some wily players. They're going to go ahead and strike out Frazier. So that'll bring up Sam Busey. Tallman on the mound, doing a great job out there. 76 pitches. 47 of those are strikes. Tallman with the windup in the pitch. That one's going to be inside. Busey trying to get out of the way. Ball 1. Wind picking up the dirt and moving it around out there on the field. Now Tallman with the pitch. That one will be outside. He makes it a 2-0 count. 1 out, nobody on. Mavericks lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. This one's going to be hit out. Bounces in front of the left fielder. Busey's going to get on. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. He's around second, making his way to third. The throw to third is there. Hathaway says hold, and he will hold at third. Wow. And Spencer Schock will come to the plate with a runner at third and 1 out. Second time the left fielder has not been able to get the ball in his glove, and it has been right there. The first time it was Spencer Schock, and it just hopped out of his glove. This time Busey able to get a triple out of it. Schock got a double out of it. But the left fielder, DeVries, had the ball right at the edge of his glove, and it bounced before he got his glove under it. Here's the pitch by Tallman. High. Busey at third, dancing around. No call from Hathaway. Now the pitch. This one's going to be hit straight up in the air, and that was going to land just outside of the netting here. And Schock will have an even count at 1 with 1 out and a runner at third.
Go Spitz!
Scarlets trying to hold off the Mavericks here so they can get themselves back into it. That pitch is outside with a 2-1 count. Schock, 0 for 1. He walked his last opportunity at bat, but he did reach off of an error. His first opportunity. Here's the pitch. He'll reach for that one. It's going to foul straight up in the air just like the first one did, and we'll have an even count at 2. That one landed right outside the door here. Could feel it on the concrete. Even count at 2. 1 out. Busey at third. He'll step away. And now the pitch. Schock will reach out. It'll bounce in front of the center fielder. Busey will come home, and Schock will get a single out of it. Mavericks take a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll bring up number 18, Parker Stevens, and Trad Richardson will go to the on deck. So Stevens looks down the third base line, Hathaway with the call. Right-handed batter is Stevens. Here's the pitch by Tallman. Swung on. That one's going to float over the Maverick dugout for strike 1. Go to the MissoulaMavericks.net website, and you can see the schedule for the Memorial Tournament coming up this weekend. Games start on Thursday morning. He'll swing on that pitch, and it'll be a strike. 0-2 count for Stevens. 1 out. 0-2. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go right by Tallman's head. Schock's going to get to second, and we'll have runners at first and second with 1 out. Wow, Tallman just had the nerve reaction to put his glove up there to keep from getting hit. And that'll bring up Parker Stevens, and we're going to have a conference on the mound now. Looks like Hust is going to come in, and we're going to have a switch. Tallman and Hughes. Hughes with a tap to the shoulder, the ball into Hughes' hands, and Tallman goes to the dugout. State Farm, Missoula Mavericks salute State Farm. Agents Bob King, Riley McCobie, and Darby South, official sponsors of Maverick baseball. So we'll have a change on the mound. It's kind of hard to see the numbers with these red, white, and black camouflage jerseys for the Scarlets. It looks like number 4. So number 4, Max Picard, is on the mound now. I think it's number 4 that's pitching. So Picard. So, and they'll bring in Greg Andriolo for DeVries. So Spicard, we'll try to figure this stuff out as we go here, folks. But Spicard is on the mound. And let's see here, the catcher, Johnson, I don't see him out there. So there might be a change there. He backs away. And I can't see the number of who went out. I think number 22, Andriolo, is at second now. We'll talk our way through this. And the warm-up catcher is out. I think they're just waiting for either Johnson to come back out or Tallman might be behind the plate. Everybody's ready to go. Umpire's ready to go. Richardson's ready to go. Just waiting for the catcher to get on. 22 went into left. So DeVries must have went over to second. So DeVries went to second. Okay. And Tallman is catching now. All right, folks, there we go. So Tallman behind the plate at catcher, DeVries at second base, Spigard on the mound, and Andriola in left field. Spencer Schock at second, and Parker Stevens at first. Richardson, he'll reach for that one, and it's going to go deep into left field. It'll be caught by the left fielder. Runners will hold, and it'll be out number 2. That'll bring us to Bo King,
Number 6, Bo King,
the center fielder for the Mavericks. So a 3-1 lead here for the Mavericks in the bottom of the 6th. They're down 2 outs. Bo King coming to the plate, but they've got runners at first and second, and McHugh is in the on deck. DeVries will check the runners. Schock steps away from second, does a little trot dance, inches out. First pitch will catch the outside of the plate on the right-handed batter of King. 0-1 count. Mavericks, they've got their 3 runs off of 3 hits here. Scarlets, they've got 1 run off of 4 hits. And that one's going to be fouled off. 0-2 count for King. So King's got the 0-2 count here. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Mavericks lead 3-1. DeVries on the mound. And the pitch. Swung on. Foul. He'll stay alive with the 0-2 count. Let's take a look at Tallman's stats from the mound. He'd pitch 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 errors, 6 strikeouts, finished with a 3.94. 3.33 for King. Slides out of the way and we'll have a 1-2 count. Here comes the wind as it picks up a little bit more. One, 2 count, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be fouled down the first base line. He'll stay alive with a 1-2 count. Ryan McHugh in the on deck. King, as I mentioned, one of them players that could step in and fill some big shoes next year once players move on. He's trying to find his way into this AA system with the Mavericks. Has played a year with the B and then 2 with the A. And an even count at 2 now. Scarlet fans not happy with Ryan Larson's call behind the plate. Even count at 2, 2 outs. Fans getting on it to encourage their players. Runners at first and second for the Mavericks. Here's the pitch, swung on. It'll bounce out to shortstop. Sliding for it, throw to first is not there in time. And we've got loaded bases for the Mavericks with 2 outs. Great job by King to get out there on base. And that'll bring up the laser, number 24, Ryan McHugh. Right-handed batter is McHugh, graduate of Loyola this year, going to MSU this fall.
Go right out.
I call him the laser. He picked up that name when we had coverage of baseball or basketball this year. Here's the pitch. First one will be a strike. Loaded bases for the Mavericks here with 2 outs. McHugh 0 for 2 on the day. First game that we covered with the Loyola basketball program, McHugh comes in off the bench, cool as a cucumber, and down the court 3 times in a row, he drops a 3-pointer, nothing but net. That's where he got his laser name. I think that ball came off the end of his fingers and was just on a laser right into the hoop. 1-2 count here for McHugh. 2 outs, loaded bases. Mavericks lead 3-1. Bottom of the 6th. We're scheduled for 7. McHugh waiting for the pitch, and it's on its way by DeVries. Outside, and we'll have an even count at 2. Thought about swinging on that one, but saw that it was coming out. I mean, that was pretty far outside. He'd have had to reach pretty far for that one. DeVries now with the pitch. It's on its way. Swung on. Down the first baseline, foul, and McHugh will stay alive. No action in the Maverick bullpen. Looks like they're going to let Jovetic run the stretch here. He'll settle in. DeVries waits, gets the pitch from Tallman. Now the windup. Outside, and we've got a full count at 3-2 for the shortstop. 2 outs, Mavericks lead 3-1. Bottom of 6. Loaded bases. Let's stack the drama on as we go. McHugh waiting for the pitch. DeVries with the windup. Runners go. McHugh swings on it, bounces out to the shortstop, rolls into the shortstop's hand. Throw to first is there in time for the out. So the Mavericks will get 3 on. They'll leave 3 hanging, and they'll stay 3-1. They'll get 1 in. We'll be back in just a moment with the top of the 7th inning. Welcome back to Missoula Prep Sports Network. Chris Stratton here for coverage of the Billings Scarlet's Missoula Maverick doubleheader. Mavericks lead the Scarlets 3-1, top of the seventh. Scheduled for 7 innings with a doubleheader. And leading off is number 22, Greg Andriolo. First pitch to Andriolo is low for ball 1. Andriolo, you might recognize that name from prep basketball. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. I believe he is a Billings West product. I'd have to double check that information. Even count at 1. He'll swing on that one, makes it a 1-2 count here. Mavericks want to hold off the Scarlets here and get the 3-1 win. Jovetic with the pitch. Swung on and missed, and Jovetic will add to his K count.
The pitcher, number 4, Max Spicard.
And that'll bring up Mac Spicard in the pitching position now. He'll step in. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. Swung on and missed. Jovetic stood tall on the mound here. 62 pitches, 50 of those are strikes. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. That one's inside, makes it a even count at 1 with 1 out. Now we do have some action down the line for the Mavericks in their bullpen. Jovetic with the pitch. That one will be hit just past Jovetic. Martin will get it on the hop. The throw to first is there, and that'll be out number 2. That'll take us to Kendall Sinclair.
Number 2, Kendall Sinclair.
So looking at Jovetic's stats on the game, 6 2/3 innings, 1 run off of 4 hits, an error, and 5 strikeouts. 111 is his ERA. And we have a 1-0 count here. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one will foul right back in the end. And the netting evens the count out at 1. Sinclair hit by a pitch, his first opportunity at bat, and then had a line drive out, his second. 2 outs here. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. That one catches the plate for strike 2. 1-2 count. Mavericks 1 out or 1 strike away from getting the 3-1 win over the Scarlets and taking game 1. Here's the pitch by Jovetic. This one's going to be hit straight up in the air. Martin's on the run, but Parker Stevens is there, and that will end the inning. So the Mavericks get the win 3-1 over the Billings Scarlets. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a few moments, get everything reset, and we'll have game 2 ready to go for you in about 20 minutes.
Game 2 coming up.